Okay, I hope y'all can see me really good because it is the evening. Y'all, look how my locks are just growing. Look at this. Growing. Like, growing. For real. Because I didn't want this video to be too long. And if y'all are not new here, then y'all know your girl can get a lot chatty. All right, we're back. Okay, hey y'all, it's Chi. So I feel like I always say it's Chi, like with a T, but it's Chi. Okay, it's Chi. Hey y'all, it's Chi. So as y'all see from the title of the video, I've had my flip phone for over a month. What is different? Yes, I still have Miss Flippy. She's still right here, going with me every single day of my life since I first got her. But so yeah, what's different? I'm going to try my best not to talk as much. So let's get straight to it. This is what I was going to say beforehand. So if you have not seen my videos, there were 2 videos I want to say that kind of explained why I chose to downgrade to a flip phone, or a dumb phone as some people call them. I will link them down below. There are 2. So the first one is a video of when I broke my fast, and I explained to y'all how during my fast I realized that this was a good decision to make because I fasted without my phone for 3 days. And then the second video is it's me unboxing the Nokia, the Flippy. And I feel like I gave a little bit more details, or maybe I didn't, but I'm gonna link it just in case y'all want to see like the before credits of why, or of how I even got to this journey. Okay, so number 1, the first difference, and I feel like this one is like kind of predictable. I also feel like this one, it kind of sums up everything, honestly. But the number 1 difference is that life has slowed down so much for me, like so much, and I'll get into that as I keep going on. Excuse me. Number 2, I have been able to complete books quicker. So for example, I rode with my husband today, as he went to a call. For those who are in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, if you have any AC or heater problems, shameless plug, contact Summer Chills. I will leave the contact information on the screen because great quality work, okay? But yeah, so I rode with him today. He had The Alchemist. It's been sitting on the bookshelf, I think he said, for about a year, or maybe a little bit over a year. He ordered this book and he hasn't gotten a chance to read it. So I finished one of my recent I finished a book recently, and I was like, I need another book to read while we're going down there because we're going to South Carolina today. So I grabbed The Alchemist. Literally, we left at 10:30 this morning. We made it back home around 3 something. And I could have finished it before we made it home, but we were listening to a podcast on the way back home. But y'all, I kid y'all not, I started it this morning. I started it when we left. This is how much I have left of this book. I'm on the 118th page, and I think it's 170 pages in this book. So that is a prime example of I have been able to complete books quicker, like much quicker. Even though this is not a thick book, I feel like before I got a flip phone, it would take me, even though y'all, I love reading. Reading is like one of my favorite hobbies. But before going to a flip phone, it would take me like man, I want to say about a month to finish a book completely, even one of this size. Like, well, let me not say that, because I finished the 4 Agreements pretty quick, and that book was not big at all. So maybe it would take me I would not have finished this book in a day. I'll say that. When I was using my smartphone, I know for a fact that I would not have finished this book in one day. So this is an example of I have been able to finish books so quick. Like I finished this 300-page book. It was an urban crime book. Maybe last week. I finished a book literally in like a week. I want to say it was like a week and maybe a couple of days. like a week and a couple of days. Yeah. And it was literally 300 pounds. 300 pounds. It was literally 300 pages. So I have been able to finish books so quick, like in such a quick time frame. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I'm getting back to I'm getting back to my old hobbies. So, like I said, reading, even though I was reading when I had my smartphone, when I was using my smartphone, I just was not prioritizing it, or I was not like completing books in time frames that I know I could have. So, reading is one. Watching documentaries, I think they'll put that on here. For example, watching documentaries. Oh my goodness, I love documentaries. The most recent one I watched was a documentary on the Philippines. I forgot the name of it, but it was like people who live underwater. It was so interesting. But I have been able to like sit down, focus, watch documentaries without taking any breaks, without being like, okay, let me check my phone, let me scroll or whatever. I have been able to complete documentaries and enjoy them and fill my head with all this knowledge of different cultures and different things and all of that. So that's so exciting. Number 4, my attention span is strengthened now. I hope I said that right. My attention span is strengthened. So, like I said in the previous video, I think the first one, I noticed that my attention span was starting to get shorter and shorter. And the example that I gave was that I would be reading an article or something that I really was interested in reading, but I would catch myself like zooming through, trying to get to the bottom and like trying to rush through, right? And so I noticed that my attention span was getting shorter in that sense. And I don't like that, and I said it in the previous video, if I have some control over the length of my attention span or the strength of my attention span, I want to control it. So I wanted to take that power back, and I have taken it back. And I can only imagine how much more it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as I continue on this journey. So that's number 4, which is a huge one for me. Number 5, I've noticed that I text less, and I honestly make and have less phone calls as well, which is surprising because I thought going to a flip phone, I knew I was going to be texting less because like it takes a long time to text on this. It's not like, you're used to the smartphone and it can predict your words, and it's just way quicker to text on a smartphone or on an iPhone. But the flip phone is like, if y'all are millennials and y'all used to have a flip phone back in the day, y'all know how long it takes to text on this thing. So a lot of times I'm not really interested in texting, but I thought that would increase like my phone calls. I thought that I would be calling people more, or people would be calling me more, because my close friends and my family know that I've switched to a flip phone. They make jokes about it all the time. But I don't know. It's kind of like I get less phone calls, and I most definitely make less phone calls. I don't know what's the science behind that, but I'm like rarely on my phone now, for real, whether it's texting or phone calls. Now, I text every now and then, but another like downside to texting with a flip phone is that it like when people try to send me not text messages, pictures and stuff, it takes a long time for it to come all the way through and download and all of that. So I kind of don't really like to get a lot of text messages or a lot of pictures being sent. My close friends have resorted to emailing me pictures, which is hilarious, and I love them for accommodations. But that's number 5. Number 6 is I am more present, most definitely. I'm really grateful for this one too, this difference as well, because that was another main goal of switching to a flip phone or a dumb phone, was to live more in the present. So many great experiences happen, and I have a thought where I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I could record this, or I could take a picture of this to kind of like savor the moment or whatever, which I find nothing wrong with that, which is why I still have my iPhone, which is what I'm recording on now. And if y'all saw my exploring San Diego video, that's how I was recording those memories. So I still have my iPhone for those purposes. But if I'm like not going out of town, I keep this iPhone at the house. Unless like maybe one day I may vlog if I'm going, I don't know, if I'm having like a day off or something like that. I haven't done that yet, but I may choose to do that, and I may take the iPhone with me. But other than that, this iPhone like literally stays at the house unless I'm traveling out of town somewhere. So I have moments where I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I can savor this moment through pictures or whatever and videos, but I don't have my iPhone on me, which forces me to be more present and just rely on the memories that I have up here, you know. Or sometimes I'll like snap a quick pic on my Nokia. I have a few pictures in here. But outside of like the desire to savor the moment, you know, there's beauty in being able to just enjoy the present. It really is, compared to like, you know, like if you were, hey son. So even though I find it to be really good to have like documentation of experiences, I think that's great. Like I love this one of the main reasons why I record YouTube videos. I love the opportunity to be able to capture the moment, and then in the future be able to look back on the moment and kind of like relive the moment with those videos and those pictures. But at the same time, not always having my iPhone on me kind of forces me to just go back to how things were like we were kids. Think about like I said, if y'all millennials or older, then y'all remember these kind of moments where when we were children, like you can think back to your childhood and you can just be like so just full of like happiness when you think about like going outside, playing with the neighborhood friends. You know, you still have these memories. The memories that you have not disappeared. You don't have proof of them, but they have not disappeared. And if you sit and think hard on them, not even hard, but for me, like if I sit and I think back on memories, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like you're re-experiencing them. And so I feel like I'm not truly missing out on like getting the documentation and being able to relive it. I feel like having the documentation is a plus, but I'm also being forced to just be in the present and rely back on memories, just like I do for like childhood memories, you know. So I say all that to say, like, having this flip phone has caused me to be more present, and to just like strictly just be in the present. You know, just think about, honestly, like I said, I enjoy being able to capture the moments and like make vlogs and stuff like that. But also at the same time, think about how much time we're missing out on. And I feel like that's a little dramatic because like in my San Diego vlog, I really was not recording for a very long time. I would kind of pick up my phone and kind of like record the beginning of moments because I just wanted to like get little glimpses of moments and then go back and narrate over those moments. But let's say I didn't do that. Let's say I was like really, like, let's say we went walking and the whole time we were walking, I'm like recording and talking and talking and talking and talking and recording and talking. You know, imagine if I was doing that compared to just enjoying the moment. Like I'm missing out on experiencing the moment by having the camera up here. You're trying to make sure you get the right angle. You're trying to make sure that everything is being captured and things like that, compared to like putting the phone down and actually experiencing it and not missing out on what you're seeing, you know. So I feel like that's such a plus, such a bonus, being able to actually enjoy the things around you completely without any distractions, you know. And once again, I'm not against recording things. I'm just much more on the side of being able to experience everything around you. For example, you know, imagine the times that you're at a restaurant, and thank God my family and I don't do this. Sometimes my husband will be like, if it's a game day, he'll check like the game scores and stuff if we're at a restaurant or something like that. But imagine all the times that you're at a restaurant and you see like families or big families or whatever, and they're like, they're all at a restaurant, but they're all like this, like at the table, waiting on the food to come. And then when the food comes, that's when they put it down, and that's when they kind of engage or whatever. Or sometimes they may not ever put it down. They may just, you know, sit and eat the food and be on their phones at the same time. So imagine how much we see that now compared to like no phones being present, people actually like communicating with each other, having conversations, being forced to get to know each other a little bit more, all those things. So I feel like that is such a bonus in not having my phone. Even times where I'm like sitting and waiting, for example, like going on a lunch break, I walked downtown like a week ago, and I just was like exploring downtown in my city with just my flip phone. I took a couple of pictures, but other than that, it's not like I can like scroll or get distracted or anything. So I was really like seeing things that I hadn't paid attention to in a good little minute, and just being able to hear the leaves, feel the wind, look at different little I don't know, landmarks, I guess you can say. I've just been able to be so much more present, and I truly enjoy that. So, number 7, maps and GP. Oh, wait, I'm gonna go back to present. So I'm a mom. As if y'all are not new here, y'all know that. But if you are new here, then yes, I'm a mom to a 6-year-old smart little king. But I have y'all, that first weekend without my smartphone, I was just amazed at the difference and just at the moment and the experience that I had with my son. Now, like I've said before, most people that know me closely would have labeled me as like a super present mom, or a super present just person and friend, like a person who knows how to disconnect from the social world and social media and all those things. But I just personally, I felt like I could do more. And I felt that more the first weekend I didn't have my smartphone. So my husband was at work, and me and my son took like this random trip to a smoothie shop downtown. We went, and when I say, I don't know, it just felt so just like a moment, because we were sitting down, we were trying new smoothies. I got more insight into his world, and him telling me these different stories of school, and him trying, like, it was such a beautiful moment that made me realize that I had made such a good decision by just going to a flip phone. Because usually, yes, I would be present, but also during moments of, like, let's say he pulled out a toy or something, before I got my flip phone, if he pulled out a toy, I would probably pull out my phone, compared to like being present there with him, or even just sitting in the silence. I enjoy silent moments as well, believe it or not, because I know I like to talk. So yeah, I have been so grateful for the present moments. Number 7, things that are different, maps and GPS. A lot of people that I've told that I've gone to a flip phone, they're like, so how are you getting around? Which is kind of funny that question is even a question, because it's like, how do we get around, y'all, before we got iPhones? How do we get around then? But hey, the question can be valid. For like when we traveled to California, I was not familiar with that area, so not having actually my flip phone actually does have GPS on here. I just don't use it that often. But getting around, like when I'm not traveling, is very simple. I just go. I'm kind of familiar with the place where I'm staying, and I'm kind of familiar with the areas around me, but I'm not too familiar with some things. Like today we tried this vegan Chinese restaurant, which is located in South Charlotte, called Mama Walk. I didn't know how to get there, but I have a flip phone. I can search. It also has internet on here, so I can like search the address or whatever. I also have my husband with me, which really makes traveling and getting around without an iPhone like much more convenient, because he still has his iPhone, so he was able to like get us there or whatever. But if all else failed, I could have used the GPS on my flip phone. So traveling to places and not traveling to places, but getting around is not really, it's not something that I have to worry about. I guess I can say it that way. Now, if I did not have my husband with me, which have times like that have occurred, and I needed to go somewhere that I hadn't been before, I would just search on my, if I didn't, and like I said, I have GPS on here, but for some reason I don't really use it. But I would like search the address on my laptop before I leave home, and then like go that way. Remember how to get there that way. So yeah. As far as getting around, that's not a problem. If I really needed to get around with the GPS system, I didn't have any help, I could use the GPS on my flip phone. But if I didn't have any help, being that I do have help most times when my husband isn't at work, I kind of rely on his GPS, or I just go to my laptop and search the address and things like that and remember landmarks and stuff, which is kind of fun. I've always kind of had like this, I don't know, I enjoy like finding I enjoy strengthening my sense of direction. I really do, because in my mind I'm like, what happens if you really need to know where you're at? So I kind of like enjoy learning different areas and how to get back home and things like that. Number 8, things that are different in my, or what's different in my life is CDs. Yeah, CDs. So if y'all have been on my channel before, then y'all know that I have started a CD collection. I actually started doing this before I even thought of going to a flip phone. My reason behind it was, first off, I'm like stuck in the past obviously I'm like stuck in the past. I've always, like, back in college, since college I have been fascinated with like the 90s. Like, yes, I was born in the 90s, but I always used to wish I was like a teenager in the 90s. So I've always had like this fascination with like back in the day. So much so that a lot of my clothing is like vintage clothing. Like, I'm just really fascinated with back in the day times, like retro times, vintage things. I really am. So, not so much with vintage technology, but I'm very fascinated with, I guess you can say I am, but not to a point where I collect like a lot of vintage technology and stuff. But vintage clothes, vintage pictures, vintage movies, vintage videos, count me in. Museums, count me in, okay? I love going back to the past. And I love just, if I could time travel, y'all know how a lot of people, if they could time travel, they would go to the future or something like that. I always say if I could time travel, I would most definitely go to like the past. Not even the past from when I was born. Like, when I was born, I would go to like the past. Like, I would go visit the 80s. I would love to see how my parents were when they were my age. Not my age, because I was around when they were my age, but when they were teenagers. I would love to see how my grandma was, my granddad. Like, I would love to see all of that. So yes, I love the past. So that is one of the reasons why I started a CD collection, because that wasn't the reason why. I wanted a CD player. That's what I wanted, because if y'all see the other side of this room, which I consider to be my lounge in my house, the other side is real like nostalgic. So I have like a jump off poster. I have I'll show it to y'all one day, but the other side is like real nostalgic. And I wanted a CD player in here, and my husband gifted me a CD player. So then I needed to start getting CDs, and then we made it into like a friendly competition, because he collects records or vinyls. I think that's how you say it, vinyls. He collects those, and so every time we go to like a record shop, I'm kind of like competing with him to see how can I build up my CD collection compared to his record collection. So that came in handy, me having a CD player and me already having CDs, because without having a smartphone, I don't have access to music when I leave the house. As far as like choosing the music that I want to hear outside of a CD. So I'm kind of like forced to either listen to the radio or put a CD in. So I have been listening to more CDs. I listen to the radio as well. I enjoy the radio. But so I listen to a lot of CDs now. I collect more CDs now. And then I'm listening to the radio more often compared to being able to kind of like go to YouTube or Pandora when I'm not home and like find the song that I want to hear. I have to kind of save that for when I have a laptop in front of me. And then number 9, life is different because I have not been able to use my store rewards. Like, the ones where you have to show the barcode. But at the same time, some stores let you just type in your phone number. Like Dollar General, they let you type in your phone number. And what I'll do then is before I leave home with my, like I told you, I keep my iPhone at home. So before I leave home, I'll like clip some coupons on the app and it saves to my number. So when I go to Dollar General, I just have to like key in my phone number and then it works. But Target, I think I've been missing out on rewards from Target. But I saw this video that shared a hack with it. They said to like screenshot your barcode number and send it to your flip phone, save that, and then just scan that when you're at Target. So I may be doing that in the future because I do want to make sure I'm not missing out on saving money. Okay. I think that is all I have for now as far as things that I have noticed that has been different. If y'all have any questions, please leave them down below. Y'all know I'm no stranger to responding back. But if I think of anything else that I may have forgotten to write down, I will most definitely add them to the comment section. Also, I will have a bonus video coming up where I talk about how I have been successful with traveling with the flip phone in a technology dependent world. Okay, so I will be filming that pretty soon. I want to upload that because just in case there are people out there who are thinking about getting a flip phone or a dumb phone and they're kind of worried about how they will navigate through the world without one, without an iPhone, I can share like what has been helpful for me. Okay, so stay on the lookout for that. I think that's all I have to say. All right.